So hello and welcome back to another video. This one is going to be on crypto and my experience investing in crypto, where I'm at now, some mistakes I made along the way. So a little rundown of my knowledge of crypto a couple of years ago was pretty much zero. Like most people, I'd heard of Bitcoin, didn't really know anything about it. I knew that it'd be used on the dark web for transactions because it was untraceable, and all of a sudden one day I was chatting to a colleague in work. Don't know how we got onto the subject, but he eventually showed me his crypto portfolio, and I think it was valued at around £30,000 at the time. And this was the most money I'd ever seen from someone I knew, ever. You know, I'd had no more than £1,000 in my bank account my entire life. I was maybe 19, 20 years old at the time, so this obviously blew my mind. I was instantly wanting to know more, so he gave me a rundown of the general theory behind crypto investing and pointed me in the direction of some educational content that he'd used. And the gist is, if anyone doesn't know, roughly you have these 4-year cycles in crypto, 4 years-ish, and this is due to an event that happens where Bitcoin supply and rewards for people that mine Bitcoin, the reward is halved. So when you look at the charts over a long time period since the inception, you roughly have these massive price increases a year or so after the Bitcoin halving. And he was saying that we're roughly a year away from the halving, so roughly 2 years away from another massive price increase. You know, and that made sense to me. I looked at the chart, I was like, this looks like a clear pattern. So then I instantly just got lost in the whole world of crypto online, researching, watching videos, and he basically said that he'd made the mistake previously of buying in when he didn't understand, and he bought really expensive prices during the last rally. Quickly realised the mistake he'd made, never sold, watched his prices fall and his value fall over 90%, and basically over the past year or so he'd been dollar cost averaging, buying investments over time to try and decrease his average buy price to prepare ultimately for this next rally. And again, this made sense to me. I was quite keen to do that. His advice was, you know, allocate a small amount of money and put it into the market every month or so into fundamentally strong cryptos that are backed by something. So like top 10 cryptos. If you have a look on any crypto chart, you'll see what the top 10 highest valuation ones are. You've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, things like XRP, and that made sense. So I started doing that. You know, I think within the week I'd already bought my own crypto, downloaded my crypto wallet, and I was going to follow this advice. It was like, buy these fundamentally strong coins, and 2 years from now, we're going to see some massive price rallies. So this was around a year and a half ago, and I've seen some crazy volatility since then. And looking back now, I think if I'd just stuck to that advice, I'd be up a lot more money by now. But this is when I get into the weeds of the story of how things didn't go as planned. And basically, I got lost in the crypto world, like I said, and started taking higher risk coins. So went against his advice, thought I knew better, which is a common thing you'll find with people that get into crypto. Because the average person knows nothing about it, you'll think that after a few videos you're like an expert. You know, you've not made any mistakes yet, and you know it's only a matter of time before you learn very quickly how volatile and risky the world of crypto is. And I ultimately got to the point where I was changing portfolio entirely, sometimes on a daily basis, and I would come in and tell him and he would laugh and advise against it. I was like, oh no, these are the new coins I've got. And then the next day I would sell all of them, buy whole new ones, because I watched some YouTuber who was promoting these coins, and I couldn't tell you anything about these. I didn't know the price history. I just knew that there was some hype around them, and I trusted these YouTubers. These are going to be the ones. And the problem with that is, if you have no conviction in your investment, as soon as there's a price decrease or some volatility, you're likely to panic sell because you don't know why you're holding it. You don't have any mindset investment in this coin because you don't have any knowledge to validate why you bought it in the first place when things go wrong. And you know, I kept on this pattern of chopping and changing until I stumbled across one coin that I thought was going to be an absolute game changer. It was going to be my millionaire ticket, and it got to the point where I had 90% of all my money in this one coin. And I think at the time I'd maybe put four grand into it. And the reason I was so drawn to this coin is you could stake this coin, lock it up and receive interest effectively, which was rewards and the reward was another crypto token, which was also valued quite well at the time. So in theory, I was making around $10 a day in staking rewards. I just couldn't withdraw them or sell them yet. So that was the justification. And during this time that I'd locked up my coins, I think my portfolio ran up to 14 grand, most money I'd ever seen in my life. Any logical person would have sold at that point, regardless of the staking rewards. But I was so convicted in this coin that it was going to go higher in the future, and this, price increase is going to be nothing compared to what it does in the future. I'm not selling now, plus these staking rewards are so good, so I'm going to compound my money. That was a theory. Obviously that did not go to plan. Ended up staking the coins for a lot longer than planned due to the developer's delay. So that 14 grand, I watched it come all the way back down to around 3 or 4, which is close to my investment entry. And ultimately the staking rewards I was able to withdraw, I ended up selling them for the main coin, and then I was double staking. I was trying to compound my rewards, which made sense at the time, until basically the value of both coins crashed. Luckily I had some clarity during this time, and I realised I was way too overexposed and wanted to diversify again and go back to the original advice, buy the strong fundamental coins. So I did that. Eventually sold half and diversified. So still holding a little bit of this coin, but I've now diversified into some good ones I was happy with. I'd educate myself more on them, and I was going to hold these. I was confident. And I'm so glad that I did that, because that bag that was once worth 14 grand would now be worth around 1,000 right now. And I'm not sure how I'd be feeling right now if that was my entire portfolio effectively gone. And I also got very lucky, because the coins that I then switched to, I happened to buy them literally at the bottom, and they ended up having 450% plus rallies within a week. So they propped up my portfolio value again, which was great. And basically that gets us to 6 months ago. Anyone who's in the crypto world knows we had quite a big rally. Bitcoin went above 100k, some altcoins followed, and my portfolio shot all the way up to 29-30 grand. I was so happy. I was checking the portfolio every minute, telling loads of different people how well it was doing, and taking photos, which is a meme in the crypto world. It's like, if you find yourself taking photos of your portfolio, it's the time to sell. But it's easy in hindsight, because in the moment you just think it's going to keep going higher, because we are now getting to the stage where we're at that 4-year-ish mark where prices are going to go up. And we weren't actually at the price targets I'd initially set to sell, so the plan was just hold them. And funnily enough, Bitcoin's now back down 20+%, and a lot of my coins are now right back to entry, so it's went from 30 grand back down to 8 grand, which is a huge loss. But I think the problem with crypto is one of many problems with crypto is, I went into this thinking I'm going to be a long-term investor, long-term as in 2 to 4 years, and then what you'll find is people will then try and dabble in trading. Trading is very different from investing, and people will be like, oh well, if I just buy low, sell high, I can then rebuy the dip. The problem is, if you do that, often the dip never happens, and you think you're smarter than you really are. So I could have sold around 30 grand, expecting a dip. The dip might never have happened, and then I have to rebuy again higher, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just guessing. Whereas I know the long-term play is we're not at the right time yet to sell, even though we had some really nice volatility in the positive direction. I'm still confident where I'm at right now, and I've bought even more on this dip, because I know these coins are strong. I know they have a good future over the next 6 months. But the plan is to try and exit 100% of all my positions this year, hopefully hitting over 100k in portfolio value, which is basically going to happen if most of my coins go back to their all-time high values, and we're projected to go way above a lot of those values. So that's the rough idea. It's been a bumpy ride. Right now Bitcoin's hovering back around 84k. We're waiting to see what happens, and if it goes up in price now, I think altcoins will follow, and that's kind of the theory. So we'll check back. I'll do an update a few months from now, maybe even sooner, and see how things have developed. But basically, I'm not being shaken out. I'm not selling now, because right now is the scariest time. I think the fear index is, the fear and greed is right in extreme fear right now, because the stock market is also taking a 10% dip. But I'm still confident. I've been rebuying along this dip at some good prices of some of my fundamentally strong coins, and we'll see how things play out over the next few months. It's definitely been difficult to hold through these crazy swings in volatility, but I think one of the good things is during this bull market, things can fall 10, 20, 30% in one day, and the next day they can be back up. A lot of the time it doesn't take months and months to recover. Sometimes it does, but I'm still confident where I am right now. And I'm going to do some more videos on crypto. This was a bit rambly. I might go into some more specific details, but I will check in again soon with the value of the portfolio, and we'll see how things go. So just to wrap up and to clarify, I'm not panic selling right now. I think this would be the worst time to sell at the range lows. If anything, this is the time to be buying, and that's what I'm doing. This is all still in line with the original theory, which was to prepare and dollar cost average into strong coins and wait for the right time to sell, which is going to be this year. We're getting really close to the rough timing of when things go parabolic historically. It's going to be within the next 6 to 12 months, and that's what I plan to do. I'm not trying to buy high, buy low, sell high, redistribute the portfolio, chopping and changing. I'm not doing any of that right now. I'm preparing, and I'm sitting and waiting and being patient for what I believe has a very high likelihood of happening. And also, I went into this with the mindset that I could lose all this money. I'm prepared to lose all this money. It would be awful, but I think knowing what I know and the potential out there, I'd be so much worse off if I hadn't taken the risk and I missed out on the potential upside here, which is insane value. So that's where I'm at right now. I'll do another update soon, and thanks for watching this video.